So antitrust is about competition. In our system of government and in our market-based economy, we believe that competition makes things better. It creates a process of rivalry that incentivizes companies and people to innovate, to deliver great results to consumers, to compete for labor so that people can earn a fair wage in response for their hard work and efforts. All of this collects into preserving a system where there's opportunity, and that opportunity is not just important to our bottom line in terms of how much money we pay at the cash register or the credit card terminal, but the opportunities that we have to live and work and innovate in ways that we want, opportunities to express ourselves freely, which is absolutely critical in a democracy. Historically, times of industrial change and technological innovation have resulted in opportunities for new competitive alternatives to emerge. And so whether it was in the case of antitrust enforcement, for example, in the area of industrialization, Standard Oil case resulted in ushering in an era of competition among oil companies and gas stations. And in the context of AT&T, antitrust enforcement resulted in an emerging and thriving telecommunications ecosystem that gave rise to the internet. And we've seen this occur over and over again throughout history. With respect to AI, it has so much promise, but the technologies involved in AI have the opportunity to tip to single players or to a small group of competitors. And we want to make sure that this ecosystem is sufficiently open and competitive so that new ideas, new innovations, and new voices have the opportunity to compete, not just for delivering the best products and services to consumers, but for society in general. First, it's important for us to make sure that we understand how the technology works. New technological changes alter market realities. And so the economics of business today are different than they were 50 years ago. And they're likely to be pretty different 50 years from now. And so it's important, for example, in the context of AI, to understand the importance of data, to understand the importance of feedback and network effects, to make sure that we understand the different components of the technology, everything from the chip all the way down to the end user. This is an important innovation of the current administration, which is thinking about competition policy not in a siloed way, but as an important value that benefits our country and our society more broadly. And so when we think about competition policy, it includes, centrally, antitrust enforcement, but it also includes the importance of rules and regulations that are not just sensitive to safety and security, but also that promote healthy and competitive markets. And so when we think about competition policy, we take a whole of government approach, which means we're working with our counterparts at federal and state level to make sure, whether it's in healthcare or transportation, privacy, security, energy, that all of those different areas are promoting a healthy competitive economy. We are working closely with our colleagues across the government, whether it's on issues relating to trade, issues relating to intellectual property, issues relating to privacy, to make sure that the values that we promote, the antitrust division, the values of competition, are embedded throughout the decision-making process at every level of our government. Absolutely. So first and foremost, we enforce the U.S. antitrust laws to the benefit of U.S. citizens. That is our goal. That is our mandate. But increasingly, we live and operate in a global economy. And when it comes to AI, the technologies that we're confronting are relevant world over, and the companies that are competing are present world over. So it's really important that we have close collaborative conversations with our counterparts abroad so that we understand what they're doing and why they're doing, and we have the opportunity to learn from each other so that we can go back home and make sure that we are enforcing our laws for the benefit of our citizens. A little bit of work on the front end can go a long way. And so we think about, for example, companies will train their employees to comply with the law. making sure that we're training our AI system to comply with the law, including the antitrust laws, is something that can be done at the front end. It's something that can save a lot of trouble for a lot of different people in the long run. It's also thinking about these issues proactively, making sure that policies, procedures, business practices are adjusted to the market realities that we are confronting on a real-world basis with respect to AI.